Yo, so I just wanted to have you take a look at some of the McFarlane figures that I've customized and show you kind of like what the potential is for a lot of these. So I'm starting off with Medevil Spawn. So this is as close to the stock version of Medevil Spawn that you're gonna get here. What I did was, you see the gauntlets as well as the boots. What I did was pop the legs and arms off and pretty much used right synthetic dye and pretty much put it in boiling water and drop them in for a couple minutes, and there you go. The synthetic dye actually goes deep into the plastic, so this is this pigment here of red is permanently part of this armor. And this is all I did from the stock. All I did was just stain that. As well as looking at this now, it's the same thing. I started off with staining the gauntlets, went over with some paint apps, and added the two skulls for the cape buckle, added the old axe, and these skull buckles, as well as the axe here, which he clearly in the picture comes with, or should have came with, not the mace. You know, it gives more that old school authentic look. I was trying to go as close to this look as humanly possible, and as you see, so I went over it after I dyed it. I went over it with a flat matte red with some silver apps. They come off with some silver with some clear blue mixed to give that classic blue armor, metallic blue armor with some silver paint apps. And that's pretty much it. I didn't use any other color other than those two. From the gauntlet, from the back, the cape is an old Superman cloth goods cape that I've had like forever. So you can see it's painted all the way around. The only thing that I didn't do on this particular figure yet, and I'm still debating if I want to, is do a wash. A wash is pretty much you take some blacks. People use shoe polish. You can use craft paints and stuff like that. Just water it down, and you can use a tissue or a napkin, and you can just blotch it onto him, or you can water down the paint or shoe polish, which I never use shoe polish. I've always used this paint. Water it down, paint it on the whole figure, and then wipe off the excess. And what that does, it all the black traps into the small crevices, and that kind of gives it a shadowing and a little more detail. I don't think I'm going to do it with this. I kind of like this look, so I'm pretty much going to leave it as is. But I do like the details of the battle axe. I do like the sword that it came with, and I think this more completes that look from the painting. Now this is not just a painting. This is actually something you can buy. I saw it online, where I think it was like $700. This is an actual statue, even though they kind of put it into this is probably the drawing first, but there's an actual statue of this. It's about $700 to $500. It's pretty cool, but I'm not into the collecting statues. Now from these, I've been customizing from early age 10 or so, back from the old school G.I. Joes from the back in the days that had one screw in the back and legs held together with a rubber band from the midsection. Swap the arms, legs and arms and the heads and stuff like that, and you come up with a whole brand new G.I. Joes. Yeah, man, so I've been in the game for a minute. This is not something that I wanted to share back in the days, because it was just my own personal collection. It wasn't until I found out there's a whole community of people that do this that kind of, made me start doing it. I posted back in the days some stuff on figurerealm.com. If you're a customizer, or if you're trying to get into customizing, or you want to know how to customize and what good paints to use and what to do, without spending, commissioning somebody that's going to charge you hundreds of dollars to do something like this for a $20 to $30 figure, and then on top of that spending another $300-400, which in turn, for us who do stuff like this, I mean, it does take time away from my family, it takes time from my job, it does take our personal time away. So I get the high price for customization. But for most of us, enjoy this. This is kind of like a little bit of an escape for a hobby. Kind of gives us some type of peace of mind doing this. But here is the Medevil Spawn. If y'all want to try to do this, definitely, I definitely recommend it. This particular Medevil Spawn will be repackaged in the box, and I will be selling this on eBay shortly after this video. So, Medevil Spawn, guys. And here go another diorama of, or base, I should say, of the Spawn's alley chair. This is actually pretty big. This is one of my first attempts of making it. I made several of these more sleeker, but I've kept this one for a while. Used again 12 glit cape. This is the Mortal Kombat Spawn here, but I gave him the more classic look by using the legs from the Kickstarter. So the legs and the arms are from the Kickstarter, and the head and the body is from the McFarlane's Mortal Kombat Spawn. And the soft goods cape, I'm sure you've seen this like 1,000 times on eBay. Walmart actually now sells them, which is interesting. Walmart sells everything now, and Amazon. You can buy these for like $25 on sale. $35, I think, is like the standard price for this cape. You get this. You get a whole other chain that comes with it that you can wrap them around and everything. So I don't use that chain, but you can see you can do the classic Spawn just by doing some simple swaps. And this is what I believe they would call a kit bash. So no paint apps, you just literally swapping parts, and then you get this. Now I did upgrade the chains with real chains, but other than that, I have not painted this. This is literally all stock from 2 different figures, and then the cloth cape added to it. So this is something that if you guys wanted a classic Spawn within that same light, you can do it. And here goes the throne. Now, if you shine a black light onto this, all of these eyes and stuff light up. There's a black light paint on the tongue and all different areas. So this whole thing becomes luminescent. It's way too light right now for me to even attempt to doing it, but in the dark, this joint looks pretty cool. So, the throne. Let me move on to my next little custom. So this is also the Gunslinger Spawn from the Mortal Kombat series. All I did was remove the cape, and that's pretty much it for this. I removed the cape and added this from the I forgot the name of the Batman with all the guns. I'm gonna call it Gunslinger Batman because I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So I ended up adding this with all the guns and just gave him that classic gun. This gun comes from the multi-pack from... No, actually this gun comes from one of the Spawn statuesque figures. I think it's Spawn Colors. And this is all I did. Oh, and I hollowed out this gun holster on the side so you can actually remove the gun now. Coming out. See? You can actually remove the gun. So I just drill milled that and hollow that out. Now if you have this figure and you want to make this holster, all you gotta do is put this in hot water. It softens up, and you can softly and gently remove the piece of plastic in here, which is a molded gun that's in this. Remove that. It's going to be still thin, and then you need to hollow it out with like a drill mill or an X-Acto knife really carefully without having destroying it. And that's it. And then you can put whatever your favorite gun into that holster, and then you'll have that. So that was the only other little mod. And I think the other little detail was I drilled a hole in that empty spot for one of these shells. All right, and oh yeah, and I added this from another Gunslinger Spawn, which was the plastic cape or handkerchief scarf that went on him. Real simple. Again, another basic mod, was just hollowing that just to get a gun holster and removing the cape and adding a series of guns in the back. All right, nothing crazy, but it kind of worked. Here go another kit bash scenario. This is a combination of both Mandarin Spawns. They came with different shoulders. I think the one that came with this head came with like a crazy one big bone shoulder. I didn't like that shoulder, and I didn't like I liked this portion, but I didn't like the single loincloth. So all I did was swap out the midsection, swap out the arms, and swap out the head. Other than that, this is the same thing. Oh no, I did a lot of paint apps. That's right, this was all black. So there's a lot of so long ago, I've done a lot of paint apps on this to complete the look. It's so clean, I don't remember what I did. But yeah, I know that almost the whole back was plain black. Same thing with the legs. All this was black. So I added these little details, the gold, the red, definitely from the cloth, the belt. So all of these, and some details in the arms as well, or paint apped. And this one the shield only came with the deluxe version. So I mashed it together. Again, outside of little paint apps, this was pretty much just arm swaps and waist swaps, and a head swap. So other than that, if you have these two figures, you know how they look. I just combined it into one. This is the quickest custom and the easiest custom that you can do for most of the McFarlane toys, because the pegs for the arms and legs are easy to pop on and off. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here's a figure that I was not gonna buy. I ended up getting this on sale for $10. It was on a super clearance sale from, I believe, GameStop. But this wasn't selling. It's hollow as hell. The original just has all of this with open skin, so I wanted to give more of the classic look. I wanted to get another one just so I can put another one of these shoulder pads on this side. But that's for another. If it comes on sale again, I'll do it. Other than that, I didn't love this figure that much for me to even consider. I did put this little laser cannon that's connected to the back here on this. It's all movable around. This came from a dollar store, one of those little dollar store figure packs, and I just painted it up and put it on there. Did, of course, a lot of paint apps on the chest, shoulders, arms, throughout the body. Repainted. I think this was like a bluish color, so I painted it on metallic green, and a lot of gold, red, and silver apps on this. All right, even repainted the face a little bit, just so I can give more of a classic overkill. So this is just a repaint with this added gun on the side. Taking a look at all the repaints, and then went over it with a smoke clear black to also bring out some of the details. The knuckles were painted, all the little details. Remember, McFarlane doesn't do too many paint apps. He does a single paint app for a section. He does not go into this much detail at all. I wanted to find the original sculpt for this, but I didn't like this zombie looking face. But that's something that I'm going to look into in the future. Okay, the next one. Okay, you might recognize this guy. This is actually from the statuesque figure, the Disciple. So I just pretty much popped off the head, hollowed up the head, put a ball peg in there, so that the head is fully articulated. All right. There's tons of videos on how to do that when you cut off a figure's head that doesn't have a ball joint, and how to hollow it out and add that. There's tons of things like that. So the arms, armor, and everything else is from the original. Other than that, this is, I believe, a Zod. Lower half and the upper half is from the Redeemer. And kept the head and the paint apps. I could put the wings in there, I just didn't. Because in the comic books, he kind of looks just like this. So if you guys wanted to make yourself one, just get the original. I think this is also from Series 20, Disciple, and do a little kit bashing, a little armor part on it. And for the most part, this was just swaps. Very little paint apps on this. But here goes the Disciple to add to the collection. Then let's go into Malefac, which is a spawn that supposedly exists inside the Mortal Kombat universe. It came with this whole, well, stock doesn't come like this, but this little aftermarket kit came with the soft goods for the cape, for the vest. This cape is just on the shoulders, it doesn't stay on. Alright, we got the little scarf, you got the double tattered cape, you see the soft goods on the bottom as well. I did add some paint app details to this, and the effects from what he came with, as well as the sword that came with the Mandarin Spawn. Hold on 1 second. Pardon me. Nothing wrong with the video, guys. I just had to do this with one hand. Okay, and then they just come with the hat, right? Comes with the old Chinese farmers Mortal Kombat bladed hat. And I thought this was a cool kit. There's no skin like this in the game, even remotely. So this company escapes my mind right now, but it's easy to find on eBay and as well as Amazon for this. Look for a Mortal Kombat Spawn mod, and you'll find it. But I thought it was cool with the hat comes on, the soft goods, and the cape, especially with the little additional scarf that covers part of his face. I thought this was a cool little thing. Again, it's not accurate to the game, but it was cool as hell. So I did not stray away from it, and it comes with the cape, and you can pose this in all different types of ways. There's plenty of videos with people posing and doing action figure photography with this. Definitely check out those little channels, the little animated thing with this. It's pretty damn cool. All right, to the next one. So we're gonna go back into the Redeemer. So this is the Redeemer. So what I did was, this wings here are nothing like the wings that it came with. It came with these wings, hard plastic. You know, they were crazy. Even to pose it's just crazy. But these wings here are softer than rubber, and they're still within the same peg as the original wings. All I did was pop off these wings from the Ring of Redemption Spawn, and there you go. Now you have that to be more comic accurate, a lot more detail. It has the paint apps already in there, and gives Redeemer that look and respect that he needed to have when he does it. Given the fact that this is soft wings and they do articulate to a degree, you can get better poses with this. But I also thought this just looked 10 times better. And there's nothing I did with the main body. It's just adding the wings. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to go to the next one, which is the Forsaken. The Forsaken, I gave him repainted one of these energy effects from the Spawn. And same thing, I did do a little wash on these wings, but it's the same concept. The same body, all stock here. I know I did darken the silver here. So this silver is actually a little washed. So it's a little darker than the stock silver that it came with. And I did paint actually this little part here with silver on both. In the comics, there's no silver tab going down the stomach. I don't know why McFarlane put that in there as a sculpt, but I painted that part black. And then here, the same wings, Wings of Redemption Spawn, wings held in by pegs, and they can also move as well. It completes the look and gives it more that realistic comic book look. Again, there's not much more that I've done with this other than that paint, but if you have the Wings of Redemption, or you can get it cheap, I got these Ring of Redemption Spawns for like $20 or less each to pop these off and put them on. So if you have them, just cut off the wings, hollow out with like a drill or a drill mill, and just put the peg in there, glue the peg in there, and then you still have articulation. So you can still move the wings in and out, so it works out. So this is another good little mod if you want to do it for your Redeemer or your Forsaken figure. A few more figures to go, guys, and then this video will be over. Okay, now we have the Violator. I thought this was a solid figure. It is a very heavy, solid figure. This was worth every penny. This is, I think, the only mega figure that McFarlane has done in this line that actually I think was worth the $50. Monolith is hollow as hell. Like I said, I didn't even get Overkill until it came down to $10, and the only other one I was looking forward to was a Mega Spawn, which wasn't too much taller than the standard 7-inch figures, which he should have been as big as Violator. So people are trying to spend, premium price for a figure that's only an inch bigger or taller. So he's only a little bit taller than him, and he is like an 8-inch figure, and this is a 7-inch figure, right? This is close to like a 10 to 11-inch figure, but he didn't come with any tongue there. So I put the tongue in there, sculpted that in there. I did a ton of paint, shadowing and details on this to liven him up. He came pretty plain, which is, again, we already discussed it. This is kind of like Tom McFarlane's thing. He does that to save money and still give us to us at a decent price. But Joe still articulates, and he gets that nice little tongue. I've sold a few of these on eBay with the tongue articulation and the paint apps. Sorry for my my little verbiage here being all dried up. I got a little dry mouth doing this. But either way, if you have a Violator, you can use a two-part epoxy sculpt. I think this is Procrete, which is another type of two-part epoxy that if you combine and mix it right, you can still get flexibility inside your for your figures, and that's good for hair and things that might flex. But like I said, you still have articulation. The joints are tight as hell. I painted it and put it on display. I haven't really posed this, so the joints are tight. This is probably the first time since I did this, months, that I've done that, move this around. But as you can see, basic little paint apps, added a tongue, and it just brought this to life even more. All right, now the gunslinger. We've seen the horse. I can move the horse out of the way. Let's look at Gunslinger himself. Gunslinger, I put a wash on him, and as you can see, a lot of paint app details. A lot of this was not painted. The knife wasn't painted. The belt wasn't painted. The gun belt wasn't painted. The gun holsters weren't painted. There was no wash on him at all. The gauntlets and the knuckles weren't painted. It was all black. So there was a lot of extra details. And I did paint and wash the cape as well, but after I found this soft goods cape, I ended up just swapping it out. Even with this cape here, you can see the belt buckles and everything else. Even with the gun, even the guns here, they're all a whole bunch of extra paint app details that wasn't with the original figure. So with the Gunslinger Spawn, yeah, you can actually do that. There's also a wash on the pants. So yeah, man, this came out pretty well. Gunslinger Spawn, I thought it was a very interesting character when he was quickly introduced into one of the older comic books. Didn't really get any burn, and now he has his own series, and it's actually pretty entertaining. But yeah, if you have Gunslinger Spawn and you're not comfortable about doing the apps, definitely look into this. I think this is $20 now on eBay and also on Amazon. I think Amazon's a little more expensive, but you can get this. If you do any other mod to your Gunslinger, definitely get this cape. To take off the cape, just pop the arms out. Like I said, they're easy to pop out, and I think it was pegged in the back. I don't remember. I don't want to take this thing apart, especially not one hand. But it's easy to take off the cape, if I remember correctly, and to install this new cape is even easier. And if you just do this mod alone on your Gunslinger, you'll leaps and bounds of a difference. I have not touched this horse. There's no wash or nothing. I was going to put a wash on this, but that's for another day. Okay. There's two more figures, guys. Two more figures. Stay with me for two more figures. Here's Angela. You got classic Angela. Classic Angela. This is a Wonder Woman body. This is mixed between several Wonder Woman's bodies, actually, and also the Marvel Legends Angela with the head, and also some of the loincloth and everything else. No, actually, no. The loincloth is from Wonder Woman. You can still see the W there. But the legs are from a different Wonder Woman. The Todd McFarlane's designer series Wonder Woman. This leg here is also from the same body. I just painted over this chest. The arms as well is also from the same body, and it's just the head, and of course the weapon itself is also from the Marvel Legends body. And all I did was do the paint apps for the face. Also using some of the classic. This came with a Tiffany figure, also I believe from series 20, I think. Don't get me wrong. Well, it's one of the McFarlane statuesque series, but this was from a Tiffany. Tiffany came with a little base with a whole bunch of spears, and this is one of her spears. So I ended up adding this to make a classic Angela figure for this. Now this back piece is definitely from the figure, and this front piece is from this original figure. So this was a simple kit bash with some paint apps, minor paint apps, but it came out pretty clean. So I just wanted to show you guys off my Angela figure. Same thing with the neck, these angelic bands around her neck. That's also came with the original Marvel Legends Angela. All right, now boiling down to the last figure here. Here is Spawn. This is from the Mortal Kombat Spawn mix kit bash a little bit with the new release of the from the new Spawn series. So I used that boot. I kind of like this big boot versus the other boot, so I ended up putting that on there. I think that was the only kit bashing aspect to this whole thing. I left everything else on. I think these gauntlets and these arms are from another Spawn. I believe it's from the gunslinger Spawn from Mortal Kombat arms, and the body is from the regular Mortal Kombat regular Spawn. The face here is from the new Spawn from the new Spawn wave, and the cape is the same soft good cape you've seen 1,000 times everywhere else. I did have this energy effect from Marvel Legends, this lime green energy effect from, I think it was a Doctor Strange figure. Now the good thing about this, the reason why I use this one is because when you hit it with a black light, this joint lights up like if it's lit up by an LED. It lights up more than anything else. And if anybody has any Spawn figures, if you add a black light to any Spawn figure, any stock Spawn figure, you notice that their eyes will actually glow in the dark. A little Easter egg for those who did not know, they do use a fluorescent light green paint for their eyes. So put these Spawns under a black light and you'll see their eyes glow, which I thought it was a very cool effect. So there's nothing special here. I was going to add some real chains. I'm still going to do it probably in the future, but right now this is pretty much what I was going to do with this. This is pretty good. Actually, I lied. There is one more thing that I want to show you from my Spawn collection. Now, remember I was telling you about the chains that came with the cape is these. So this is Batman Year 1 base and cape. Okay, all I did was do a repaint to put Spawn's cape in there. And as for the new Spawn that just came out by Todd McFarlane, the one with a half cape, which I don't know why he did that. I mean, I know he did it because of the throne, but he should have came with an additional full cape, cloth good cape, kind of like how Batman did here. This particular Batman base, the figure that came with it, came with a soft goods cape as well as this hard cape. I looked at it and I was saying, no, Batman's cape is out of the control here, but it kind of has that Todd McFarlane look when Todd McFarlane was drawing Batman. And I was like, this is perfect for Spawn. With the skulls, the cemetery base, I was like, this was a Spawn base, and he just ended up converting it into a Batman base. So I did a repaint, added the chains to it. This portion here, like I said, is the collar piece from the half cape that came with the McFarlane Spawn from his new series. And that was it. There's nothing else that's changed. I mean, you can still see in here it says like Jason Todd and all the other Bat Family people in there, but unless you're really looking that hard into the tombstones, at first glance it kind of fits Spawn better. Now this, like everything else, the figure can come right out. Just pop the arms off the figure, slide the figure right in, and there you go. You have yourself a Batman display converted to better fit, in my opinion, Spawn. All right. Now this was just to show off my collection that I modded. I have pretty much every Spawn figure that came out, especially with the new waves of figures that came out. But these are the ones that I've modded thus far. I just want to show you guys to hopefully give some level of inspiration for anybody else who wants to do this to their Spawn figures. But if you do have the Medevil Spawn and you want to definitely upgrade it to make it look more towards the picture in the back of the box, no, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it, boy. This is how Todd McFarlane should be coming out. I wouldn't mind spending the extra money, you know, the $80 upgrade for these if Todd McFarlane was doing the extra paint apps. I wouldn't mind. I mean, look, every other figure out there from HR Figure Arts and even some of the Marvel Legends are going up there in price, and you get some decent articulation as well as some good paint apps. So, but yeah, again, this one is going up for sale. You should see it probably at the time of seeing this video out there if no one have brought it already. And then that gives you the opportunity and chance as a base to actually turn it into this, or you can leave it like this. I think, like, personally, that this looks good just the way it is, better than that silver, you know, given the fact that it was overrun by silver armor. But yeah, man, so yeah, this is my latest and greatest creation when it comes down to doing some simple paint apps and upgrades. So this is my Spawn collection. There's definitely more videos to come with newer customizations, new 3D prints, and I'm gonna start getting back into the arcade game soon. So stay tuned for some looks on those. But other than that, stay safe, stay well. Please like this video. Again, I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. When I hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, there will be some giveaways. And I'm talking about some good giveaways. All right. So again, have a good one.